Welcome, my name is Rishar and this is StarMade. This episode today will be a ship showcase episode, and I chose to showcase this ship you see in front of us. There's a couple of reasons for that, because it grabbed my attention because of some of the features this ship has, and because I want to talk a bit about aesthetics. Because, like it or not, this is just a floating box with a couple of things attached to it. And objectively speaking, not the most aesthetically pleasing ship there is available on the docks. But nevertheless, it's, I think, a good thing to talk about it. But let me show you some of the features this ship has first. Because I'm not going into this ship blind, I already looked at it for quite a bit, and that leads into the segment I wanted to talk about regarding aesthetics. One thing I noticed as well with this ship is there's a camera here at the front. That is not really needed anymore. You can just fly out of the camera point on any part of the ship and then position the camera where you want, so you don't have to have the camera block floating all the way at the front of this ship. But let's get back to the features this ship has. One of the main draws of this ship is that it is a very peculiar type of mining ship, and it has to do with this big door at the front over here. So let me go into the cockpit real quick. Very nice big window, by the way. You can see all the things that you can do with this ship from your cockpit. But this is the upper cockpit, so you don't need that. We need this one. We've got a couple of buttons over here, and one is the deploy array button. So let's press that one. Then if you go to the front, this door opens, and this very nifty mining array will pop out. It takes a while to deploy, but yeah, it is quite a big distance need to travel as well. I haven't checked actually how high the rail speed was on those rails, but I don't think it's higher than the default value. And then it moves to the side and then starts to rotate. There it goes, and there you have it, and done. And basically what this does, this deploys a mining array that you can rotate all the way around, and then it starts mining. So you can get a very hefty chunk out of an asteroid this way. So this is quite a nice feature, I think, and one of the things that grabbed my attention for this particular build. One of the other features that it has is these mining drones that are docked to the top of the aircraft itself. We can launch those from the top cockpit over here, and we've got per landing bay a button. So for example, if we look at launch bay 2, you see that there's a 2 here marked in yellow of the ship you're going to launch. So let's press this one, and as you can see, it goes off into the distance. And it is a mining drone, so if you put it into a fleet, then you can start mining with those. It's got quite a nifty type of docking bay over here. It grabs into this particular shape. That's the same shape as the mining zone itself. Quite like how that was done. I do think that the setup of this bay on top of the ship is not really that balanced, but yeah, we'll talk about that a bit more later. One other thing that this ship has as well is these little shuttles or transporter ships. I'm not sure what you call them. Just has a cockpit and a whole lot of systems in the back, and with a bit of cargo. Nice set of engines, not that dissimilar of what you see on other ships, but not that detailed either. And we've got these sort of pods on the sides over here that house systems and cargo storage. It also has a very extensive interior. Well, how to put it. It has a large interior for a ship this size, but it is not all that detailed. So when I downloaded this ship and looked at it, I asked myself the question, what was the author exactly thinking? This is named the factory ship, very utilitarian, I think the word is. So it is a factory ship. It was built by Forsyth, I think it's the correct name if I pronounce it correctly. And I think he built it on a server environment, a survival server environment, because this feels to me like a mining survival ship. And if you go inside, you can enter the ship through door here. This leads into the cockpit section, so the top section over here, and then the lower section down below here with the mining array controls. We can enter the rest of the interior through these ramps here. Then we come into this big area below the bridge. This is apparently the power array of this ship with a big lava pool on top, but I'm not exactly sure what this is supposed to represent exactly. There's lava removed here, and then there's a hole here, so lava needs to flow down or something like that. I'm not sure. There's all kinds of screens here with Star Wars references I don't get and some information. And then over here we've got a sticky out bit with more systems inside it. So this to me feels like, okay, the author wants an interior and systems, but it doesn't really know where the systems are going to go while building the ship. It then needs to add additional interior bits and additional exterior bits as well, because below here there's this sphere shape on the hull and these lines over here that cover systems as well. So apparently you needed more space for the power and then added that sphere shape to it. And over here we have another big space with a sphere of shields in here. Also, these lines are logic lines that connect the buttons over here to the logic at the front for the mining array. This is also something you have to take into account. If you place logic into your build, don't automatically assume that the settings for logic lines is turned off for people, because I don't have it turned off and I see these logic lines if I download the build. Also, this ship has factories, quite a lot actually. Refineries, factories, all kinds of things to survive in the survival universe. This is also a particular setting that needs to be turned on a server on your single player world, because not every ship will be able to have these factories if it's not turned on. So this is also either a user or a server specific setting. Take that into account as well when you're building a ship. There is a bit of interior on the lower deck as well. There's this hallway that goes here, connects to the space over here where the mining array is stored. So it's quite a big space. And it also houses all the logic for this mining array. This is not the way I would do it. I would tuck away the logic in a separate space. I understand that this is easier to bug fix, but you can do that in separate spaces as well, because, yeah, look here. Empty space, quite a lot of it. Use it. At the front over here, this hallway leads to quite a nice looking mess hall. Well, sort of sparse, but quite nice chairs and table designs. But there's not a lot of other details in here, although it does say what we can get for dinner here. And then that leads to a ramp over here. We can go to the top part over here. And on the other end, this is basically mirrored, but this lounge is quite a secret, apparently. It's a bit pink. So it's quite a comedic twist. But yeah, for the rest, this is quite big empty space with just a large entities in here for the systems. And you can see here, for example, these lines are for the connecting the power to chambers. Yeah, this is mainly in the floor because this floor is only 1 block thick, as you can see here. There's not quite a thick outer layer for this. So one of the things I wanted to talk about, and not only talk but show as well, how you can improve on a design like this, because it's still a box, but you can still do a couple of things with boxes to make it a bit more appealing in the eye of the main public. And one of the things is using double walls. So 1 wall for interior and 1 wall for exterior, and not only 1 thick hull. I did understand from the info page on the StarMade doc that this was a ship meant for easily acquiring the materials in the beginning of your playthrough of a survival universe. But the hull of a ship, I don't think is going to be the deciding factor in building a ship. I think systems are a bit more expensive and a bit harder to get than hull blocks. And just regular hull blocks like this, you can get a ton of those. It's not really a problem. They're easy to make. So yeah, that's something we need to show, I think, to get a real good picture of what I mean. And what I'm going to do, I'm going to load up another copy of this ship and try to give it a bit of my own flair. And there we go, another copy of the ship. Doesn't really look all that different at first glance, but I didn't really do a whole lot of it, the exterior of this design, because there's so much you can do with changing the look and feel of a ship, and it's still a box. But what I did do is round off the corners a bit and just added some lines at the front, because the old ship didn't have anything at the front. Add something here to give it a bit of a face. This is very rudimentary. I can do a whole lot with this, but I didn't bother all that much with it, because my main concentration was on the back of the ship, at least on parts of it. I tried connecting a nameplate to this outer hull. We had this name Victoria on the side here on the original, but it goes all the way to the edge. That bothered me a lot, so I tried to create a nameplate here and lengthened the hull a bit so that it really didn't go to the edge of the hull itself. But the main part of the ship I changed is the interior. Let me go into the cockpit over here. By the way, one change I made as well is use buttons. If you use buttons instead of the full block button, but a 3D button, 3D buttons don't show logic lines if connecting to something else. They're always logic line invisible, even if you have the setting turned on or not. If you go over here, then we can go into the interior again. This ramp is already different. I made it a lot smaller at the vents. If you go in here, I changed this quite a bit. I changed out the lava because I really didn't understand what this lava pool thing was, and made this this ice. Basically, the idea was this is power, so it needs to be cooled down because there's some sort of reaction going on. So I did a whole lot of ice crystals, normal ice, and then water in the parts that were basically not frozen over, and then have these pipes going into the power blocks, or at least the stabilizers, to further stabilize the power reaction we got going. I also changed the room itself quite a lot. I lowered the ceiling 1 block, or at least added another layer on the ceiling. I also did that for the floor, and I did it for the wall. So now we have a 2-block thick wall. So now I can do something with the interior walls and not affect the exterior of my ship. Very simple concept, but as you can see, people don't do that always. I also changed this this round shape for the power here to be the eight-sided shape. I usually do for rounded shapes, and I changed it to the blue color because the power blocks, it's sort of blue, so power and blue, in my opinion, is connected. Also in the old build, there was this ramp in the middle here, so we had 3 ramps below each other. But the middle one didn't do anything. It didn't go anywhere. It didn't really serve a purpose. So I did add this set of stairs in here to get between the floors with just a small what do you call it, ramp in here to get to the next level. So this gives you a bit more space within this this huge room we've got going here. And adding these dark gray blocks gives you a lot more detail. So the lower floor over here, if you go to the other side, is a bit different because on this side we've got this sticky out build, and we still can go up the stairs over here. And the sticky out bit is also the same height as this set of stairs, so we now can go up to this level. And then I can imagine that there is some machinery over here that you need to maintain. And of course stairs to the upper level over here. So now I think the route you walk as an astronaut is a bit more clear, and there's no stairs in the way of the walkway ramps themselves, because you just go to the side over here. So that prevents people from walking into the stairs when they don't want to. I also changed the room next to it. This is the shield room. I basically took the same concept with the walls, the details, but put a large sphere-like object in the middle with a lot of big pipes connecting to it. It's basically the same, I think the same volume of blocks that you can put in here as the sphere was before. I didn't really test systems, I just did a quick refit of this build. But it should house the same type of shield blocks that it needs, and added some type of machinery here in the corners to fill out the room a bit more. I think this gives it a bit more of a clear purpose what this room represents. So we've got power on this side and then shields on this side. This is a real simple way of doing things, because the rest of the ship I didn't do anything with. I just wanted to demonstrate what you could do with a large bulky shape like this. And it gives hopefully a bit of inspiration to the builder. Because, like I said, as far as aesthetics go, the exterior falls a bit flat because it is a box with just some greebles attached to the top and the side of the box itself. I do like these alien type pixel art letters. Not sure what they are. They remind me a bit of Space Invaders for some reason. Yeah, why are these pixel art alien language signs on the ship? Ask yourself that question. Is this an alien ship? Can you implement this particular design somewhere else within the hull design of your ship? What does this cross-like thing mean? Does it represent something, or does it serve a function, an antenna array or something? Perhaps you can change this whole upper level of your ship to an actual flight deck. I mean, you have all your ships on this deck already, so why not make it a sort of a small carrier, something like that. I did change one thing to the exterior, but not on the top of the ship. I did that on the lower part. So let's go down below. As you can see here, I added these two big sphere-like objects. This is basically based on this sphere-like object and the lines that were connected to it. I thought if you need the space anyway, then just add a very prominent piece of decoration to it, then connect it, for example, with these orange pipes, and then connect it to the rest of the ship. This is basically to hide these connection lines from the power to the chambers. And you can, of course, be creative with the type of logos you put on them. For example, this looks a bit more radioactive, and this is some sort of, I don't know, a star or something like that. But basically you can put more power in here and more shields in here. There's more space because these line exactly up with the bigger power structure over here and the sphere with the shields in them. So you can extend the systems down if you really need to. So yeah, this is just a small example of what you can do with a ship like this. Like I said, this is just to give people inspiration and to show them that it is possible to make a box a bit more appealing, in my opinion. It's not the only way to do it, of course, but I'm looking forward to what other people can think of. This is it for this ship showcase. I do want to do a couple of more of those videos. So if you have a particular ship in mind that you want me to showcase or talk about, then let me know in the comments below, or just contact me on Discord or through the StarMade doc. Everything should work, I think. And let me know if there's a particular ship you want to feature in these videos. So I hope you enjoyed this episode, and I'll see you next time.